The plenary session is called to order. May we request Sheikh MP Ibrahim Ali to lead us in the invocation, and please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem and the Bangsamoro hymn.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanur Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Allahumma arinal haqqa haqqan warzuqna ittiba'ah wa arinal batila batilan warzuqna ijtinabah. Allahumma aslih lana dinana alladhi huwa ismatu amrina wa aslih lana allati fiha ma'ashuna wa aslih lana akhiratana allati la yamaduna ya Allah. Allahumma la taj'alid dunya akbar hammina wa la mablagha ilmina. Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-jannah wa ma yuqarribuna ilayha min qawlin wa fi'lin wa 'amalin wa na'udzubika minan nar ma yuqarribuna ilayha min qawlin wa fi'lin wa 'amalin ya Allah. Allahumma rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adzaban nar. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wasallam bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, ewas ang sinakalan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang itinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pangaw, ay hinagang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nag-iingin. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magtitingin. Luman ang araw ng walhagin pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling ko. Ang inigaya na pagkay mag-amin, ang mamatay ng
Secretary General, please proceed with the roll call.
The members of the BTR Parliament, the Honorables Abbas Ahmad, Abbas Haron,
Present.
Abbas Urkanain,
Present.
Abbas Basit Sarip, Abu Mujib, Adiong Jawar Rahman Alonto, Ahang Abdullah, Alamia Liza,
Present.
Alauddin Faiz, Ali Ibrahim, Ali Lanang Jr., Ali Mapag, Alil Cesar, Buluto Suarto, Ampatuan Baintan, Anayating Susana, Asmawil Muslima, Balindong Ali Pangalian, Barahami Daminodin, Basman Anna Tarhata, Purahan Abraham, Kandaw Bahay Maleha,
Present po.
Damdamun Latif Maysara, Diam Lamusa, Dipatuan Saprola, Ibrahim Ahod, Ismail Haji Abdulaziz, Kayak Abdullah,
Present.
Kira Edward, Hasim Abdullah,
Present.
Hasan Atimil, Iqbal Muager, Ismail Rasul, Jajuri Raisa, Jakilan Muslimin,
Present.
Jekiri Al-Bakil, Karon Bainon, Lidasan Mussolini,
Present.
Noong Don Mustafa,
Present.
Lorena Jose Ribani, Makako Abdurauf, Makapar Abdullah, Makaraya Jamel, Makasalong Marjani, Manguda Dato Kadafe, Tawil Malik, Mastura Dato Tokaw, Mastura City Syara, Mawali Lamil Bahar, Timbang Dato Mid Pantaw, Mitmog Rasul, Mujahid Abdul Muhsin,
Present.
Munoz Hussein, Ali Edi Mapag, Orano Soib, Pakasa Mubaida, Pak Abdulahab, Pangandama Nabila Margarita, Ramos Davila, Rimbang Sultan Edrisa Nasser,
Sir, present. Nasa Davao ako, pasensya lang po.
Sakar Modayaw,
Present.
Salendab Said, Sali Al Said, Saliga Romeo, Salik Ali, Sangki Ali, Sani Punduma, Satar Alzad, Sema Omar Yasser, Sema Romeo, Sheikh Said, Silongan Aida,
Present.
Sulaiman Ali, Tago Paisalin,
Present, present, present.
Tan Nabil,
Present.
Udja Sahi, Ulama Melanio,
Present.
Usman Asfar, Jacob Muhammad, UAK Narciso. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Mr. Speaker, with 24 members of the Parliament physically responded to the call and 30 responded via Zoom. We have a total of 54 members of the Parliament responded both physical and virtual. Mr. Speaker, we therefore certify the presence of quorum. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
With a total of 54 physically and virtually present, and with the certification of the Secretary General and the existence of a quorum, we may now proceed with today's order of business. Majority Floor Leader.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Speaker Attorney Ali Pangalan Balitong, Honorable Deputy Speaker Attorney Omar Sema, and honorable members of this Bangsamoro Transition Authority Parliament, members of the Secretariat, guests and visitors, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. Speaker, we are now on item number 6, reading and approval of journal of the previous session. Since journal number 55 has not been completed, Mr. Speaker, so therefore I deferred the reading and I move to defer the reading and approval of journal of the previous session, Mr. Speaker.
There's a motion to defer the reading and approval of journal of the previous session on March 16 and 17, 2021. Second. It's been seconded. The reading of the journal of March 16 and 17, 2021 is hereby deferred.
Mr. Speaker, we are now on item number 7, resolutions. May we request the Secretary General to read the first proposed resolution for today's session, including the number, title, and the authors, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the first proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Mr. Speaker, on proposed resolution number 591 is entitled Resolution Urging the Bangsamoro Government of the Day through the Ministry of Transportation and Communications to ensure the upgrading of the Sanga-Sanga Port in the province of Tawi-Tawi with the state-of-the-art facilities. Authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament, Baimtan A. Ampatuan and Amil Bahar S. Mawalil. Co-authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament, Liza M. Alamia, Rasul Y. Mitmog Jr., Suharto M. Ambuluto, Don Mustafa A. Luong, and Rasul Ismail. Sir Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer this to the Committee on Transportation and Communications.
There's a motion to refer proposed resolution number 591 to the Committee on Transportation and Communication. And second, and seconded, there being no objection, proposed resolution 591 is referred to the Committee on Transportation and Communications.
May we request the Secretary General to read the next proposed resolution, including the number, the title, and the authors, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 594, Mr. Speaker, is titled Resolution Urging the Government of the Day through the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform to establish halal food terminals in the Bangsamoro region. Authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament, Baimtan A. Ampatuan and Amil Bahar S. Mawalil. Co-authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament, Liza M. Alamia, Rasul Y. Mitmog Jr., Suharto M. Ambuluto, Don Mustafa A. Luong, and Rasul E. Ismail. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer this to the Committee on Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 594 to the Committee on Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform. So in the second, there being no objection, proposed resolution 594 is referred to the said committee.
May we request the Secretary General to read the next proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Mr. Speaker, proposed resolution number 638 is entitled Resolution Expressing the Support to the Bangsamoro Transition Authority to the Choose Bangsamoro Branding Initiative of the Ministry of Trade, Investment, and Tourism, and encouraging all government offices of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao to promote and patronize products and services enrolled in the program. Authored by the Honorable Member of the Parliament, Zayo Rahman Alonto Adjong, co-authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament, Ana Tarhata S. Basman, Raisa H. Jajuri, and Obaida C. Pakason. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer this to the Committee on Trade, Investment, and Tourism.
There's a motion to refer proposed resolution number 638 to the Committee on Trade, Investment, and Tourism.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any second? There being no objection, proposed resolution number 638 is referred to the said committee.
May we request again the Secretariat to read the next proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 642, Mr. Speaker, is entitled Resolution Directing the Ministry for Social Services and Development to report to the BTA Parliament on the status of the implementation and enforcement of the Republic Act number 7610, also known as an act providing for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploration, and discrimination in BARM. Authored by the Honorable Member of the Parliament, Maysara D. Latif, co-authored by the Honorable Member of the Parliament, Jamila D. Ramos. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer this to the Committee on Social Services and Development.
There's a motion to refer proposed resolution number 642 to the Committee on Social Services and Development. So in the second, there being no objection, proposed resolution number 642 is referred to the said committee.
May we request again the Secretary to read the next proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Proposed resolution number 643 is entitled Resolution Directing the Ministry of Basic Higher and Technical Education to report to the BTA Parliament the status of its educational support to Murid in Tahfiz Al-Quran schools and madrasa in BARM. Authored by the Honorable Member of the Parliament, Maysara D. Latif, co-authored by the Honorable Member of the Parliament, Jamila D. Ramos. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer this to the Committee on Basic Higher and Technical Education.
There is a motion to refer proposed resolution number 643 to the Committee on Basic Higher and Technical Education. Then the second, there being no objection, proposed resolution number 643 is referred to the said committee.
May we request again the Secretary to read the next proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution.
Proposed resolution number 644, Mr. Speaker, is entitled Resolution Directing the Ministry of Interior Local Government to report to the BTA Parliament on the status of implementations in BARM of Republic Act 6972, also known as an act establishing a daycare center in every barangay, instituting therein a total development and protections of children program, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Authored by the Honorable Member of the Parliament, Maysara D. Latif, co-authored by Honorable Member of the Parliament, Jamila D. Ramos. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to refer this to the Committee on Local Government.
There's a motion to refer proposed resolution number 644 to the Committee on Local Governance. Is there any second? There being no objection, proposed resolution number 644 is referred to the said committee.
May we request again the Secretary to read the next proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker.
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution.
Mr. Speaker, proposed resolution number 650 entitled Resolution Respectfully Appealing to His Excellency President Rodrigo Roa Duterte to sign into law Senate Bill number 2420 and House Bill number 9925 or the Marawi Sikh Victims Compensation Act. Authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament Hamid Aminuddin D. Bara, Paisalin P. Tagu, and Jose I. Lorena. Co-authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament Ana Tarhata S. Basman, Omar Yasser C. Sema, Marjani S. M. Makasalong, Musa K. S. Jamla, Zayo Rahman Alonto Adjong, Sahi S. Uja, and Ali B. Sulaiman. Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move to treat this as simple resolution and be transferred for the business of the day.
There's a motion to treat proposed resolution number 650 as a simple resolution and be transferred to the business for the day. There in a second. There being no objection, proposed resolution number 650 is referred to the business for the day.
Again, Mr. Speaker, may we request the Secretary to read the next proposed resolution?
The Secretary General is directed to read the title of the next proposed resolution, including the name of the authors and co-authors.
Mr. Speaker, on proposed resolution number 651, entitled Resolution Paying Tribute to Amman Jalmani, the three-time Olympian from Sulu, who passed away on November 23, 2001. Authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament, E.D. M. Ali, Muhagir M. Iqbal, Abdurrahub M. Makakwa, Hatimil Hassan, Nabil Eitan, Jose I. Lorena, and Amil Bahar S. Mawalin. Co-authored by the Honorable Members of the Parliament, Muhammad S. Yaqub, Harun M. Abbas, Ibrahim D. Ali, Maysara D. Latif, Jamila D. Ramos, Said M. Sheikh, Sahi S. Uja, Azfar S. Usman, Said Z. Salendab, Basit S. Abbas, Mujib C. Abu, Abdullah E. Gayak, Muslimin A. Jakilan, Faiz S. Alauddin, Cesar H. Alil, and Narciso C. U. Eke.
Mr. Speaker, I move to treat this as simple resolution and be transferred for the business of the day.
There's a motion to refer
To treat a simple resolution.
to treat proposed resolution number 651 as simple resolution and be transferred to the business for the day. Is there in second? There being no objection, proposed resolution number 651 is transferred to the business for the day.
Mr. Speaker, we are now on item number 10, second stage of bills. We have BT Parliament Bill number 171, entitled an Act authorizing annual Ramadan economic assistance and relief to Bangsamoro government officials and employees. This bill is under second stage of bills, Mr. Speaker, so therefore there is a sponsorship speech on this.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to be co-author also because I already expressed, but I don't see my name there, Mr. Speaker. Considering this is a very important legislation.
Secretariat, please take note.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
In this regard, Mr. Speaker, we respectfully recognize MP Azparospa, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from Sulu is recognized.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Majority Floor Leader, my colleagues in this Parliament, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Barely a month from now, inshallah, we will be celebrating the holy month of Ramadan, comes perhaps April 2, 2022. This Bangsamoro government, this BARM, through the Republic Act 11054, was established to answer and cater the aspiration of the Bangsamoro people as it is guaranteed by our inalienable rights to self-determination. It is but proper and noble for this Parliament to enact laws, policies that would support and promote and encourage programs, projects, and policies that would somehow help and promote economic development or assistance to our people, which is typical on the basis of our culture, religious belief. I mean, typical to our Bangsa as Muslim, as Bangsamoro.
The other principal authors were not around. MP Mesa Relative can represent the other authors of the measure for the immediate passage of such resolution, Mr. Speaker. That is my manifestation, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, I think it is a typographical or clerical error that her name were not stated there, but she's one of the principal authors of that issue, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, in this regard, Mr. Speaker, may we respectfully recognize MP Maisa relative to shed lights about this proposed resolution, Mr. Speaker.
Yes,
The
Mr.
lady from Tugayalan del Sur is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have the honor to present to you, Mr. Speaker, our appeal, the Bangsamoro People's Appeal to His Excellency President Rodrigo Roa Duterte to sign into law Senate Bill number 2420 and House Bill number 9925, or the Marawi Siege Victims Compensation Act, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on May 2017, a man-made calamity which brought a 5-month battle between the government forces and the terrorist group in Marawi led to the ground zero in the most affected areas in Marawi, and the private properties lost and even personal lives were destroyed. Apart from those thousands of people becoming internally displaced people from the time of the onset of the siege up to this very moment. This is due to the rehabilitation program that are still in progress, and presently the people, the IDPs, are still hoping and waiting to receive
Recording in
we humbly
progress.
submit that President Rodrigo Roa Duterte signed this into law. That's all, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of interpellation and debate.
The lady from Maguindanao is recognized.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just have few clarifications, Mr. Speaker. Number one, why do we need this resolution when in fact we know that it's an obligation and it's part of the job of the President, and we need not tell him that he would sign this resolution, Mr. Speaker. What is really the intention? Are there backstories with regards to this, that the President might not sign the proposed the House Bills 995 and Senate Bill 2420?
We do not know, Mr. Speaker, if there were backstories. We are not privy to those stories. However, the main authors submits, Mr. Speaker, that this would be, as we said a while ago, a noble action on the part of the highest government official of the land to make the Marawi IDPs really valued in the nation, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The last clarification that I have, Mr. Speaker, is if the proponent would know what is basically is the content of the Compensation Act. For example, what are the significant help that would be receiving by the Marawi victims, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. My co-author is also informing me that the greatest contribution that this Marawi compensation bill would have on the IDPs is that finally, Mr. Speaker, they will have justice in the form of reparation on the lost lives and properties. And there will be closure and healing of the wounds that was inflicted during the Marawi siege. The greatest contribution would be reconciliation, healing, and unity for the nation, Mr. Speaker.
Follow-up, Mr. Speaker, are we saying that there are monetary compensations because we're talking about compensation, Mr. Speaker, and what was mentioned by the proponent is just on the part of the healing process. But what about the losses that were incurred as far as the physical structures, the houses, and business establishments in the most affected areas?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, as a transitional justice mechanism, the Compensation Act involves after due assessment of the properties and also the effect of on the lives of the people will receive compensation, adequate compensation, sufficient for them to rebuild their lives again. So they will receive monetary compensation, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, last, if the proponent would know, in the transitory provision or perhaps in the appropriations provision of the law or the bills, are there specific amount that were mentioned that is intended for the Marawi victims? Because we are talking about here of compensation.
Mr. Speaker, as to the very specific amount, we are not yet privy to that, considering that in the transitory provision, there will be in the next year, I think, a proviso that the GAA will include now the amount after assessment, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much to my distinguished colleague, Engineer MP Baintan, Lieutenant Colonel, Reserve Philippine Army, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, may I respectfully recognize MP Musa.
The gentleman from Lanados is recognized.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the Parliament, Majority Floor Leader, friends, ladies and gentlemen, I stand here before you to support the Parliament Resolution number 650, requesting, respectfully appealing to His Excellency President Rodrigo Rua Duterte to sign into law Senate Bill number 2420 and House Bill number 9928 or the Marawi Siege Victim Compensation Act. Mr. Speaker, as we have been reporting to this august body in our previous sessions of what had happened in Marawi since May 23, 2017, up to now, the people of Marawi who are victims of the siege, Marawi siege, had been awaiting for a good response from the national government. And one of the most important appeal of our people is the compensation of the loss of life and property in Marawi. I, yours truly, is even a victim. My only house was razed into ground, and I even lost my wife during the siege because of our concern for peace. Fellow members of this Parliament, we appeal to you to help us by approving this resolution in order for us to show our unity as Muslims in this country. We, the Maranaos, are always and understand all our fellow Muslims in the country, whether Iyakan, Hulano, or our brothers in Maguindanao, and all other Muslims in the country. We had shown our sincerity and brotherhood with our fellow Muslim brothers. Now it is time for us to ask the response of our brothers, especially this member of this parliament, to help us as the president to sign this the law as submitted by Congress and the House of Representatives under Senate Bill number 2420 and House Bill number 9925. We do hope that we can hear from you by approving the resolution we have filed 650. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mr. Speaker, may we respectfully recognize Deputy Speaker Hatimi Lasan to be followed by MP Eddie Ali.
The gentleman from Basilan is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, I'd just like to inquire from the proponent of the resolution kung may copy na ba siya yung bill pending sa Malacanang for the signature of the President. Kasi kung mayroon, I'd like to request na i-plus sana para makita natin talaga kung ano yung compensation bill that we are requesting, that we are asking the President to sign. Yun lang, Mr. Speaker.
Sir Speaker, the enrolled bill is with the Office of the President. What we only have is the Senate bill and the House of Representatives bill, Mr. Speaker. As to the bicameral result of the bicameral conference, Mr. Speaker, the enrolled bill is with the Office of the President.
There is still no amount agreed upon as to the compensation.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, because the Marawi Compensation Board, called the MCB, will be the one to assess, Mr. Speaker. Still to be determined.
Deputy Speaker Hassan, the proponent has no copy of the enrolled bill.
Speaker, I will wait na makakuha tayo ng kopya noon. Thank you. Salamat.
The gentleman from Tawi-Tawi.
Yes, to be followed by MP Unduma, Mr. Speaker.
To be followed by the Dato Sagimba. Sultan Sagimba.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Majority Floor Leader, Assalamualaikum, my colleagues in this August body, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Nang nagkaroon po ng Marawi Seeds, lahat po tayo, hindi lang po mga kapatid nating Maranao, pati na po kami sa Tawi-Tawi, nalungkot at naiiyak po sa nangyari sa kapatid nating mga Maranao. In the past, nang tayo po ay nag-uusap tungkol sa Marawi rehabilitation, the idea of having this law na paano matulungan ang mga kapatid nating na naging biktima po ng Marawi Seeds. Hindi lang po ang sinasabi po natin na sana ang national government will come to its commitment na matulungan po ang mga kapatid natin. Itong Senate Bill number 2420 po at ang House Bill number 9925 will answers to all prayer. Para po maski paano ay mapagaan po ang sama ng loob, ang kalungkutan ng mga biktima ng Marawi Seeds. Bilang isang Muslim, bilang isang Bangsamoro, ako po ay nakikiisa sa panawagan na maaprubahan ni President Duterte itong Compensation Act. Sana po let us be one. Divided we stand, united we fall. Maraming salamat po.
MP Punduwa, Mr. Speaker.
The Sultan sa Gimba is recognized.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support that bill. I may be sidetracking or maybe out of topic since we are talking about the compensation bill. Being one of the Sultan of the 5 principalities of Marawi as Crown Sultan sa Gimba, time and again, from the first time we talk about the Marawi Shades, I have to remind everybody that this is sorry to say this, war of existence and extinction. As I said before, the three, those people who abuse us, that's the very reason why to say that armed struggle will never cease down, not until the unscrupulous politicians were trying to abuse us, we the Marawians. Ever since we fight, coming of the Spaniards, up to this moment, there is always people, as we love everybody, even the Christians, any religion for that matter, are all welcome to Lanao, particularly Marawi. Ever since I made mention that we are asking for a home, not a house, compensation bill, which is being filtered. Sometimes, hindi pa umabot kung sino ang bibigyan. Where are the guidelines? Not to mention, in my case, I lost also. But do I ask for that money which I lost? What we are asking for as far as the Maranaos, particularly the Marawian, is a home. We want to return to our home. It's not only ever since, and we never asked for a house. Sorry to say this, but we are no mendicants. What we just want is, we want to return our home. When President World War II, no, I mentioned that the entire archipelago is already out of the control of the Japanese. Everybody returned to their home. When President is liberated, why up to this time we cannot return to our home, and we need your help as far as this Parliament is concerned, that we should tell the President that we want to return to our home. But the question is, if we return, there are people that wants to kill us. And this will return again or start a war. Since the creation of the martial law, we don't blame President Marcos, but we blame those people around him who abused that power when the martial law was declared. And that's the very reason why some of us, including me, No, learn how to fight, defend the freedom and liberty of the Bangsamoro. I am now so old, 76. But still in my heart, I do feel that since the creation of Islam, jihad will never cease down. Because there is always demons, evil, who are trying to extinguish the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the thing, the reason why we have now the parliament, where our children have started to fight against those who are trying to claim that what we own belongs to them. This I'm reminding you again. There could be a defunct ERMM. There could be a defunct Bangsamoro or BAM. But they could never extinguish the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I may be terminated tomorrow, but I don't care. As long as our right, lahat kayo sasabihin nyo ang right natin. This is not a mockery. We are not asking for money. However, if they will compensate us and give us the right and the proper way and the guidelines, that it will not be filtered by these people who are staying in front, well, the program of the president don't reach us because it's being filtered along the way. Sorry that sometimes I'm emotional about this because it's already 51 years since we started as MNLF, as member of the top 90, and up to this time. Look at you, look at me. Our children, this is a war of existence and extinction because they want, even, sorry to say this, the so-called Cotabato Empire is now only 1/4. The Lanao Empire is only half. This, I'm reminding you, my children, because I'm older than anybody here, that we have to bear in mind that we should not drop our hands. We should not. Huwag tayong kaligtaan. Naabot din tayo hantong sa panahon that we will be driven again to the sea or to the world, and we have to peace our enemy. It's not the Christians, not a religion, but those people, unscrupulous, illegal, doing things in our midst. So with this, sorry that every time I talk, I'm emotional because at the time when I was only 20 years old, I have seen the abuses, the discrimination coming from the Imperial Manila. So with this, sorry again. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mr. Speaker, I move to close the period of interpellation and debate.
Now a motion to terminate the period of interpellation debate, and the second, there being no objection, the period of interpellation debate is now terminated.
Mr. Speaker, I move to open the period of amendment.
The period of amendments now open.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I move to close the period of amendment.
There is now a motion to terminate the period of amendment. Is there any second? There being no objection, the period of amendments now terminated.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the approval and adoption of PR number 650, subject to staff.
There is a motion to approve proposed resolution number 650, subject to style. Any second? There being no objection, proposed resolution number 650 is approved, subject to style in plenary.
Mr. Speaker, we proceed to PR number 651, a resolution paying tribute to Aman Jalmani, the three-time Olympian from Sulu who passed away on November 23, 2001. In this regard, Mr. Speaker, may we respectfully recognize the principal author, MP Eddie Ali, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from Tawi-tawi is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. my esteemed colleagues in this august body, all officers of the Parliament, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Our 1987 Constitution, our BOL, provide for the promotion of sports and participation nationally and internationally. Meron po tayo isang kababayan, isang Bangsamoro galing sa Sulu. Siya po ay si Amman Jalmaani, isang magaling na swimmer. At nung una po, in 1964, yun po ang unang panahon na napunta po siya sa Olympic. At ito ay in 1964. He participated or competed in 200-meter breaststroke. The second time napunta po siya sa Olympic ay in 1968 in Mexico. At dito, 4 na events where he competed. 100-meter breaststroke, 200-meter breaststroke, 100-meter freestyle, and 400-meter medley relay. For the third time to join the Olympics is or was in 1972. At maliban po doon, marami pong mga medalya kanyang nakuha, kanyang nakamtan when he participated not only in the Olympics but also in other international competitions. Last November 23, 2021, siya po ay bumalik na sa ating puong may kapal kay Allah Ta'ala. Mga aking kapatid, kung titingnan po natin, si Jalmaani po was only one of the 3 Filipino swimmers to have qualified and competed in the Olympics. Siguro, wala na siya sa mundong ito. Panahon po siguro, ang Bangsamoro government would pay tribute to what he has done, not only to promote the name of the Bangsamoro, not only the people of Sulu, pero para sa ating lahat po, bilang Bangsamoro, bilang Pilipino. With this, ako'y nakikiusap sa aking mga kapatid dito sa Bangsamoro Parliament. Warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Mr. Speaker, I have an omnibus motion, Mr. Speaker.
You have an omnibus
Yes,
motion?
Mr. Speaker,
What is your omnibus motion?
Yes, to dispense with the period of interpellation and debate and period of amendment, and I further move for the approval of
There is an
PR
omnibus
number
motion.
651.
There is now an omnibus motion to dispense with the period interpellation, debate, and the period of amendment, and the subsequent approval of proposed resolution number 651, subject to style. Is there any second?
Second.
There being no objection, proposed resolution number 651 is hereby approved, subject to style.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, there being no other agenda and order of business, I move to adjourn this session until next week at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Mr. Speaker.
Session is adjourned until February 22. 2022 at 1 o'clock p.m.